You know, there's no music.
I am from Minnesota, where every meal is cooked with grease, and my father dubbed that food the tastiest.
Kenny,
in the
Yeah.
world. Minnesota.
what are you
Every
playing?
meal is cooked with grease, and my father dubbed that food the tastiest.
Kenny,
In
Yeah.
the world. Minnesota.
what are you
Every
playing?
meal is cooked with grease, and my father dubbed that food the tastiest.
Kenny.
It's Saturday night.
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture.
With Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
I don't know what happened to that video file. The music did not come through. So
Yeah, and you usually mute me when we do that. Why
I
I
know,
wasn't muted?
I know you weren't muted. You could be heard
I know.
loud and clear.
I could have been doing something like farting or something. I don't know.
Really? Is that how we're starting the show?
That's how we're starting the show, man. That's how we're starting the show.
Anyway,
All right. So
happy
anyway,
Saturday.
well, happy Saturday. This is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. I'm Kenny, and this is my this is my sister Kathy. I got to do the right to left thing. Yeah, this is my sister Kathy.
And that's my brother
Um,
Kenny.
Yeah, and I'm her brother Kenny. Um, so hey, Scooby Life, how you doing? I am and not in my usual setting. I'm at a party right now for Memorial Day, a little get together, and that is Emmy, my friend's daughter, in the back of me, and that's her little friend there too. They're all like just sitting there watching me because I got these lights and everything, and they know I'm on a podcast, and they're like, you know. But in any event, I'm at a party.
Photobombing the podcast. Okay.
Yeah. Photobombing the podcast. The girls are photobombing the podcast. So, but no, I said, you know what? I don't feel like because police are out all over the place. They're pulling everybody over. I've had
Oh,
a
of
drink.
course. It's a holiday.
I've had a drink, and Emmy. Usually you don't like me and you stay away from me. Now you want to be with me. Go somewhere, Emmy. Um, so Emmy actually gets babysat. She's very good friends with my daughter Mackenzie because Mackenzie babysits her a lot.
Okay.
So, you know, Emmy has a love-hate relationship with me because she always acts like she doesn't like me at all. But
Mhm.
apparently now I'm popular for some reason.
Oh, and I thought
So
it was popular not to like you. So
I know. I thought it was
there you
popular
go.
not to like me too. Um,
Kids like you. There you go.
yeah, I know. I know. Emmy, the whole world can see you. The whole world can see you, Emmy.
Or at least the 5 people watching.
The 5 people watching, yes. So, but anyway, tonight our show is all about the Bruce and nothing but the Bruce, about Bruce Willis. And Emmy, could you do me a favor? Could you go upstairs and get my book bag, my Marvel book bag, and bring it down to me? Thank you, baby. Um,
All right.
See, that's how you do. That's what you give him a job.
It's almost like saying,
Um,
here, go
but,
fetch.
but, but
Okay.
before we start with that, um, before we start with that, I'd like to say we'd like to give our condolences to the family of Ray Liotta, who we
Rest
lost
in
this week.
peace. Shoeless
Rest in
Joe.
peace. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. Now, everybody knows Goodfellas. I'm gonna tell you what
Goodfellas.
my 2 favorite Ray Liotta movies are.
Field of
Karina,
Dreams.
no, Karina with Whoopi Goldberg because Whoopi
Oh,
Goldberg's on my crush list,
that's right. How could we forget?
and he did a movie called The Rat Pack about the Rat Pack. You know, and he played Frank Sinatra.
Oh, okay. He played Frank Sinatra?
He
I
played
never
Frank
saw that
Sinatra. Yes,
movie,
yes,
The Rat Pack.
yes. Scooby Life. You didn't hear? Ray Liotta passed away in his sleep 2 days ago.
Yes.
Audrey, how are you doing today, Audrey?
Oh, and yes, hi to our pop culture kids. We got
Is
Scooby
Ed
Life in the house,
is Ed
and
coming on today?
Ed is behind the scenes. I'm gonna bring Ed
Okay.
out in a minute.
Okay.
Um, I was just trying to make sure we gave our opening and what we were going to talk
Okay.
about
How
today.
how are you doing this week?
I mean, we're doing what we're doing. I have to say, just on a just personal, physical, emotional level, that again, the tragedy that our country dealt with in Texas weighed heavily on my mind, on my heart. So, but hey, we keep doing what we're doing and
Yes, yes.
what we do at our school to keep our kids safe. So,
Yes, yeah, and
but
it's a very trying time for people like you, administrators of schools, teachers, and students going into schools. Let's all pray for everyone who has to deal with that type of thing and the anxiety of going into a school every day, not knowing what could happen when something very well could happen. So yeah, let's just keep everybody in our prayers, at least until the end of the school year. And some places it's May, and some places it's June. So yeah.
yeah, we're done. Not this coming week, but the following week. Um, I would. I wanted to give a shout out to Identity. That's one of my favorite Ray Liotta movies. Aside from Kill
I
Bill,
don't think I've ever seen that one.
Identity is really it's interesting because I know we talked about character actors one week, and there's a character actor. Oh God, I can't think of his name. I think it's like John Taylor Pruitt, or he has like three names, but he's notable for this eye twitch thing he has, which again is a condition that he has. But you would know he's one of those actors, you would know it if you see him. He is in that movie along with a couple other stars, Amanda Peet, and basically they all are at this hotel, and one by one they are being killed, and I can't talk about the movie without kind of giving away the plot. It's not the world's greatest movie, but I remember him in it, and I really enjoyed it.
And Ray Liotta killed everybody because he had that look. He killed everybody.
But Goodfellas is like
Yes,
the
Goodfellas.
movie. It's the
Goodfellas.
ultimate
Yes, it is.
Ray
It's the
Liotta movie. So
ultimate gangster movie. And I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and was Ray Liotta in Casino?
I don't think he was.
Okay, that was
I
the
think
other guy
it
that was
was
supposed
Robert De
to,
Niro. I think it
and
was Joe Pesci, but
Joe
I'm not
Pesci was
sure.
in Casino. Yeah, because I said I'd never seen Casino,
Okay. Okay? Yes, I did see. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I saw Casino,
but
but it's almost like,
Ray Liotta was the lead in Goodfellas, but everybody loved Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
oh yeah.
What am I clowning you? Would I make you laugh?
Do I amuse you?
Do I amuse you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. But anyway, for tonight and last week we had talked about it a little bit, and we decided to talk a little bit about Bruce Willis. So I'm kind of prepared. I know it's coming. So what?
I like the way I'm kind of prepared. I know it's
I
coming.
know it's coming. I also know like some of my favorite Bruce Willis movies that have nothing to do with a tower and a certain holiday. So since we are talking Bruce Willis, the Bruce, and nothing but the Bruce, we have a special guest joining us. We're actually our third co-host, if you will. Please welcome to the podcast our brother from another mother, Ed Brown.
Eddie!
Hi, everyone.
Edward! What's going on, Ed?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm
It's
doing
all
well.
good. I can't show him full screen because the movie's playing in the background, and the copyright strike will get us taken off the air.
What movie?
What movie? What are you talking about?
What are you talking
I
about?
can't
What
control what's on the
movie?
TV. I mean, it's what it is.
Watch the TV. I don't understand. What's your problem?
Oh, you don't understand the workings of the interwebs. They have people out there just hunting
Well, you know.
for the codex to see if you're showing their movie or playing their music. So Ed, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
You're doing
Hey,
good, Ed.
we're hanging in. We're hanging in on another Saturday night, and like I said, we could not have this topic without your contributions. Save
I
for
think you know where my contributions go.
right.
No.
So let's save the would-be Christmas movie for last.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Kenny, what?
Anyway, I was able to get a bunch of information about Bruce Willis, who was born in March the 19th of 1955. He was born in Germany, but he grew up in his mother was German, and his dad was a soldier in Germany, and they got married. And when his dad's tour was over, the family moved to Carneys Point, New Jersey. And he attended Penns Grove High School.
Okay.
He's actually began his career of acting. His professional career started on off-Broadway stage in the 70s. What's not known about him is that he had a stutter as a child, and all the kids nicknamed him Buck Buck.
What? Buck? What?
Buck Buck.
Oh,
I thought you said something else.
I thought you said something else.
No, Buck.
I'm like, whoa, hey, when did we become not safe for television? I'm like,
It was family oriented.
Buck. Wow.
I guess we know where our
we
minds
both
are.
thought
Really?
you said something else.
I'm usually the dirty one, and you guys.
Okay, Buck.
And at one time, you'll find this interesting because of
Mm.
his TV career. But at one time, he did work as a private investigator,
Oh, cool.
Yes.
professionally. Yes. Now, in March of 2022, he was diagnosed with I'm going to say this wrong.
Aphasia?
Aphasia. And aphasia, for people who don't know exactly what disease Bruce Willis has and why people are worried about it, it's very serious. It's the inability to comprehend or formulate language because of damage to the specific brain regions. The major causes of stroke and head trauma. Aphasia can also be the result of brain tumors, brain infection, or I'm not even going to say that word, but a disease known as dementia.
Yeah. Okay.
In 2008,
Neurodegenerative.
in 1987 rather, he married Demi Moore, and of course, as everybody knows, they got the divorce in 2020, in October 2020, and then in 2009 he married Emma Hemming, and they're still married today. He has about, I think, 4 kids. I wasn't able to get all the kids' names and everything, but he has 4 kids. And now we can talk about his TV and movie career.
Isn't his wife like like a year younger than one of his oldest
His wife
kids?
is very his wife is it's Bruce Willis, man. Come on.
I'm just saying.
Like there's certain guys that can get away with that. Bruce Willis is one of them. Like if Idris Elba, 10 years from now, he got with some 19, 20-year-old chick, nobody would care. It's Idris Elba. You didn't
Just
find my
saying.
bag?
Okay, so he has
It's where
5
all the
kids.
shoes
He's got
are.
3 with Demi Moore, 3 girls, and then 2 with
That's
his
wrong.
new wife. But that's just
Where the
ridiculous.
shoes
But
are?
okay.
I need my bag. Okay.
Did you even bring a bag?
She didn't bring the bag. She comes back.
I said, did you even bring a bag?
I
Did you
brought a
send her
bag.
on a walk?
It's where the shoes are upstairs. And she's like, I didn't even look for the bag. You ran out and you're like, okay, I'll get the bag. And came back 10 minutes later, like, yeah, I didn't even look.
Okay.
Kids. I'm about to do a skip from Bye Bye Birdie. Kids.
So All right, moving on. Moving on. With Bruce Willis, and we were going to talk a little bit about the TV career because that's kind of what launched him. I think,
Yeah.
even though like
Yes.
most actors, he did off Broadway and the whole theater route. But I think a lot of actors do that in waiting on their big breakthrough TV or movie role, and for him, it was in Moonlighting, playing. God, I can't even remember the character now. My mind,
I
just.
didn't write the character's name down for Moonlighting.
It was Dave and Maddie, Dave
Dave,
Addison.
Dave Addison. There you go. Dave Addison. David May, Dave Addison. Hey, Steve's in the house. Hey, Archer's in the house. By the way, next Thursday night, I will be on Hey Archer's show.
Oh, that's right. Kenny will be on Hey Archer's Thursday night. I think is it 8
Yeah.
or sometimes a little later, but Hey
Yeah.
Archer is just a cool place if you enjoy pop culture and you like nerding out. Beware, there will be Star Wars spoilers. Just saying, anything Star Wars related, there might be
Yes.
spoilers.
Yes.
There,
I watch Obi-Wan today.
you watched Obi-Wan today.
8:15.
8:15. That's it. 8:15, and
Ish.
that's Hey Archer, nerd affiliate,
Yeah.
and lots
I
of
like
fun
the way it says 8:15 ish.
ish, and
That's
that's
just
good for you,
that's
Kenny, because you're
that's just
you're an
yeah,
ish person.
that's total CP time. You just 8:15 ish.
Oh, you're a mess. All right. As well as he had some, I guess, guest roles on shows like Mad About You, Friends, and Ally McBeal. Ally McBeal. Yeah, Ally
Now
McBeal,
I
which I
believe
never watched.
I never watched that either, but I believe he got the spot on Friends because he did the movie with
Oh, Chandler Bing, which is not his name, but Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
And that's again when we look at the list of like Bruce I was about to say Bruce Springsteen, Bruce Willis movies. I know a couple pop out as like favorites, and it's not the alleged Christmas movie. But how do you want to take this list on? Do you want to go from his first movies to
Let's start from the first movies
start from
and
the
move
beginning?
down. And yeah, let's start from the beginning and move down.
Good idea.
Hey, Steve, was he on a reoccurring role on Ally McBeal? I mean, I never watched it. I guess I can go stream it.
Yeah. I know he had a couple of shows on Friends. He was recurring for like 5 episodes or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, on Friends he was on there a couple times.
Yeah.
But and I don't know about Mad About You. I can't remember. And I watched Mad About You too. So that might have just been a guest spot.
I fell off of Mad About You after the first season. I kind of
Mad About You was really good. I like that show. You didn't like it?
Was it? Was it really?
It was really. Now I think they did a reboot, but it was only offered on a certain streaming service, and I don't know what it was. And I didn't have, I don't know whether was it Comcast or there was a Mad About You reboot. So I don't know how good that was. But sometimes the reboot don't always
you know what?
it.
You cannot reboot sitcoms. You know what they're doing a reboot of?
What?
Night Court.
Oh, how?
I love Night Court.
They're doing a reboot. Half the cast is dead.
Yeah, right.
Harry Anderson, Marky Post, the old lady, and then
the Bailiffs are dead, right?
Huh?
John Larroquette, isn't he still alive?
He's still alive, and he's the star of the show. He's still a lawyer. Like 30 years later, he's still a Night Court lawyer, prosecutor.
He was funny.
Goals, please. Does he have any goals? Is it what's going on?
Yeah, Helen Hunt is awesome. You are right, Steve. She's awesome. Anyway.
Yeah. But so Night Court they're bringing back with a whole new cast around John Larroquette.
Now, I think a reboot is good, like what they did with One Day at a Time, where we had all new characters, but pretty much just like the same premise kind of thing.
I never saw that. Was it good? Because it got canceled, so it couldn't have been that good.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's look at the movie list. The first movie on the list, and I guess this stemmed from the success of Moonlighting, was Blind Date, which
Yes.
was which was a
Blind Date was
comedy.
Blind Date was
Okay,
pretty much Blind Date. I'm sorry, Blind Date was pretty much his first lead, and he's been in movies before as bit parts or walk-ons.
right.
Blind Date was his first like lead character in a movie.
But okay, who was the female star of that? Do you remember?
Kim Basinger.
Okay, Kim Basinger. Yep. Who was married to
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin? See,
Nice one. Good.
see, Steve
Way to
knows
be
his
on top.
pop
Way to be
culture.
on top.
Kenny, you're just here because you look pretty. All right. And then he made this other action movie, and then after that, look who's
Wow.
talking.
Wow, how did you skip over Die Hard?
Well,
And go
I
right
was
to
going
Look
to
Who's
say that for
Talking?
the end, but okay.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense to
Dwayne.
say that because I mean
Go
that's
ahead.
making the most
All
sense.
right, let's
We're gonna
go.
write the Look Who's Talking, or the big hit in 1988. I mean not Look Who's Talking, Die Hard, the big hit in 1988. Nakatomi Towers, may we all remember. Um,
Okay.
I guess it shows
I
about
just
Die Hard.
that's the sun. So Die Hard was, I think Die Hard was one of those movies that stapled Bruce Willis as an action hero.
Oh,
And Blind Date, if I remember correctly, did not do well in the theaters. I remember seeing it, and I remember it not being good.
yeah,
But Die Hard was that movie that put Bruce Willis on the map as a movie star.
I agree with that 100%.
So then he went to Kathy. You can come back now because now we're talking about Look Who's Talking. Where Bruce Willis didn't appear in it, but he played the voice of Mikey the baby in Look Who's Talking, which I think might have been one of his most hilarious. Oh, look at that!
Wow, we didn't even.
Oh,
talk
I'm
about
sorry. Are you guys finished talking about? Anyway.
Look Who's Talking, where I think might be one of Bruce Willis's better comedic performances.
it.
You,
Even though
you
you
know
don't
what? I
see
probably would
anything in his
agree
voice.
with you.
You hear his voice, like the things he says, as little Mikey.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
just
I thought that
hilarious.
was yeah. Although I'm still kicking myself because when I was in the theater watching the movie, and I remember turning to my roommate Donna at the time, because I guess when was it Look Who's Talking or Look Who's Talking to? No, Look Who's Talking at the end, because they wound up being together, Kirstie Alley and John Travolta, and I guess that's the first time the two of them were in a movie together, but it happens again. And they have a baby, and when the baby is born, I think the line was, uh, I forget the line she says, but it's something like, "Oh, I've had a day. Can we talk?" And the voice sounded so familiar, and I was like, "Who is that?" It was like driving me nuts. Meanwhile, it was Joan Rivers, and I was kicking myself because it was like, "Oh, that's an easy one. Can we talk?" And I didn't get it.
But when they actually did Look Who's Talking too, I think they got Roseanne Barr to do the voice.
Right. They got a
Yeah.
different actress to do the voice.
So then after Look Who's Talking, we did Die Hard 2.
Because, success
It
leaves
worked the
clues.
first time. Let's do it again.
Die Hard 2 was excellent, by the way.
Yeah, and you know what? For the pitch meeting, they probably said, you know what? Let's take the guy from Good Times and make him a bad guy in this.
John Amos.
Let's do that.
I love John Amos.
We haven't seen him in a couple of years. And last time we seen him, he was beating Michael. So let's put him and make him beat John McClane. It worked.
Now, was it, which one was Samuel L. Jackson? That's Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Yeah, that's Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay, we're getting there.
We'll get there in a couple of years.
So, sequels are key.
And Look Who's Talking 2 comes out because he did like 2 movies and then 2 sequels back to back. And there was some other
And
movies.
then the
Mind
success
you,
came to a screeching halt.
wow.
I mean, facts.
Bonfire of Vanities.
And that was a movie based on a book that had did really well, and the book had a lot of attention and press and was a bestseller. And I think when books, well, okay, books are always better than the movies, but I mean, for the most part, I defy you to come up with a book or a movie that was better than a book. See, I'm getting crickets.
Yeah. I can't
So
think of
anyway,
What about
um,
Shawshank?
Shawshank.
Shawshank.
I never read the book.
I
I'm just
think.
throwing it out there.
Oh wait. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Green Mile. Um, oh gosh, if we could do a whole show on Stephen King book versus movies,
True.
because I think my first Stephen King book was actually The Stand, and that book was intense. It was really good, and I was getting to the end, and honestly, I was just like on edge. And I actually watched the miniseries, and I thought they did a really good job kind of bringing the book to life. Now, there was a remake of The Stand. I have not seen that. But Shawshank, I don't, I'm trying to think because I read The Green Mile. I don't think I read, because wasn't Shawshank a short story? Because I think he had a couple of short stories,
It's possible. I don't know. I didn't read it.
like one was called The Body, and that was the one that Stand By Me was based on. I thought Shawshank was based on another one of his short stories. But Kenny, you got to read some Stephen King, because that needs to be one of our shows, the books versus the movies. But in any case, after Bonfire of the Vanities was Hudson Hawk, which I think that was not um a successful
You know what? You know what's good about Hudson Hawk?
mhm.
It has one of my Hollywood crushes in Hudson Hawk.
Of course.
Sandra Bernhardt is in Hudson
Oh
Hawk.
gosh.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Are all your
Sandra
Hollywood
Sandra
crushes
Bernhardt.
lesbians? That's
Sandra,
all I want to know.
Sandra Bernhardt is one of my Hollywood crushes. She's in Hudson Hawk. Stunning woman. Stunning woman.
All right. Next is The Last Boy Scout. Now I think that one did a little better box office wise.
Sandra, if you're listening, I'm still single.
Okay. And if you are listening, she's still gay. All right. Every week we go through this. I just don't understand.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you know what? In 1992, the Death Becomes Her. It wasn't a hit, but I thought it was pretty good as far as comedy performances. I
Death
think.
Becomes Her was creepy.
Oh, I enjoyed that
That
movie.
it was too bizarre and creepy for me, man. And then they fall. He gets old. They're still alive. They fall down steps and they start to break and everything. And I'm good.
I always enjoy seeing Meryl Streep in comedies.
Yeah,
So
that was Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
good. I'm good.
So,
I'm good.
and I know everybody,
This is
you know, she's the serious actress, you know, but oh man,
I
Devil
love
Wears
this.
Prada has got to be the
yes.
best.
I love to see serious actor types pull off comedy roles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love to see that.
What about comedy actors that became serious actors? That took those serious
That's a
roles,
good
like
show.
Tom
That's
Hanks.
a good show right there.
Oh yeah,
Comedy actors that became serious. Will
comedy.
Smith,
Robin Williams, I think,
Robin Williams. Yes, Robin
did
Williams. Another
the
one.
best job with that.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks definitely.
Didn't Jim Carrey do a serious role?
In Living Color.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what?
Serious.
He's done a couple serious roles, but there's
Truman
one he
Show was
did in a movie
serious.
called oh gosh,
Eternal
I
Sunshine.
of the Spotless Mind.
Okay.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Hey, wasn't
and
Bruce Willis in that movie with Roseanne Barr where she played
The Devil.
yeah, not the devil, but
What was that?
it Wasn't that Bruce Willis?
I
Didn't
don't
he
know.
play her husband?
I don't know. You sure it wasn't Tom Arnold?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, I don't see it on here, so maybe I'm wrong. Why am I blanking?
And you know what? You know who's
Because I
you
thought
know
Meryl. Go ahead.
you know who's great at being a comic role and doing a serious role? Richard Pryor. He was awesome at that.
Which movie are you thinking of?
Yeah.
Blue Collar. Richard Pryor was serious in that. He was serious in The Lady Sings the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
He was serious in he was kind of serious in Harlem Nights, even though it was a comedy. But he played the serious role in Harlem Nights.
Right.
Okay.
You know. So after Death Becomes Her,
Okay.
we
You
have
know, I apologize. I was thinking of She Devil, and I thought Bruce, and maybe I'm confusing it with Death Becomes Her, but it was Ed Begley Jr. that played Roseanne's husband. My bad.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you say he bombed after doing his Die Hard 2 movie and Look Who's Talking To, but
Well, no, I mean not died, but it was just like I think Bonfire of the Vanities, people were expecting it to do really well, and it really didn't. And same thing with Hudson Hawk.
You picked that back up with Pulp Fiction in 1994.
Yes, and actually, I think that that started like one of the first directors that he worked with that you would see him work with again, and do repeated movies with, to have like success working with Quentin Tarantino, because Pulp Fiction, wound up being a revival for him, for John Travolta. It just, I think it was so different, and so
and
it
also
just jolted everybody.
Didn't that revive what's his name? Who's the actor who told the story about the watch to Bruce Willis as a kid?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Christopher Walken.
Oh, Christopher Walken.
It kind of
well, you know
revived him
how
a
I
little
feel
bit
about
too.
him.
I know
So
how you feel about him, but it kind of revived him a little bit too. And so
fishy. Why was he on the boat? I don't know.
I know.
I got problems. I have questions.
I know.
When we do a show to unravel my whole Natalie Wood conspiracy
We
theory.
need to do a Natalie Wood show. Is what needs to happen. We need to do a Natalie Wood
Definitely.
show. We need to do a
Christopher Walken
conspiracy
was on that
show.
boat.
Christopher Walken
was on that boat.
Yes.
Oh.
And yeah, something's
right.
going on. And
Something ain't right.
I guess he was the co-star of her last movie. And if you're going away with your husband on a boat for like a holiday weekend, why do you bring your co-star? The whole thing just smells. Anyway, what is Ed asking here? Was there a movie there where his character was Red? His character's name wasn't Red,
but the movie was Red.
But there was a movie called Red. What was it called? Retired, Extremely Dangerous. That's what Red stood for.
It was him, Morgan Freeman, and
I think Helen Mirren was in that one as well.
But no, and the other actor was John Malkovich.
Yes, John Malkovich.
John Malkovich, yeah.
Retired, Extremely Dangerous, because they actually did a sequel to that one. That was
they did. They did
pretty good.
Too. They did Red too. Now after
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, Scooby Life. So wait, he's gonna invite the person having an affair with his wife on a boat for the weekend. So what was the plan? To throw him overboard on the boat? Why her? What's going on? And just who was having an affair? Was it Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood? Was it Christopher Walken and what's his name? And Robert Wagner? We don't know. Lots of questions. There are theories. I have my thoughts. Anyway, let's go on.
So after Pulp Fiction, what other way to follow a great movie like Pulp Fiction, but another Die Hard movie? So in 1995, Die Hard with a Vengeance with Sam L. Jackson came out, and that was like a great movie. Die Hard with Hey, Zeus, my name ain't Zeus. It's Hey Zeus. No. Jesus. He kept calling me Jesus. Because my name is Zeus. Like, I'll put a lightning in your behind. Like Zeus.
And Jeremy Irons was great in that. I mean,
Yeah, Jeremy Irons.
Bonds' brother.
Jeremy Irons was phenomenal in that.
Yes, he was.
He was phenomenal in that. That
Yes,
was
he was.
that was just an all around great movie. I was disappointed about that third one though,
What?
because even in Die Hard 2, Officer Powell made a guest appearance,
Yes,
a
he
little
did.
cameo. But after that, you never seen the guy from Family Matters, Reginald Van Johnson. You never seen him in the Die Hard movies again. I would like to have seen him in a Die Hard movie after that.
I would like to have seen him with a bigger role in like a later Die Hard.
Yeah, I would
You know,
like to have
I
seen
think that
him.
would have been cool.
I
think he's passed away now.
Huh?
I think he died.
No, Reginald Van Johnson's still alive.
Are you sure?
No, I'm Kenny.
Oh, that's okay.
But I'm
all right. No,
Gotcha. No. Reginald Van Johnson's still alive because they were talking about doing a Family Matters reboot.
Are you sure?
I'm Kenny. Why do you keep calling me sure?
I can't believe I just fell for that again. He passed.
So next, in 1995, he also did a movie called Four Rooms, where he was actually uncredited, but it was him and Trenton Tarantino again together in Four Rooms. And the Four Rooms I talked to you about last week, where it was 4 different segments by 4 different directors, and Bruce Willis was in the last segment with Quentin Tarantino. It was called that segment of the movie was called The Man from Hollywood, where Quentin Tarantino was this big director from Hollywood, and he came in and Bruce Willis was one of his friends, and he was on the phone, and he got an argument with his wife, and he was arguing with his wife, and he got and this, that, and the other, because it was New Year's Eve, and Bruce Willis was at a hotel with his friends, and his wife was like, "Why aren't you home with me on New Year's Eve?" So they were popping bubbly and having a good time, and 3 guys in a room, which seemed kind of weird.
And
So
I don't think I've ever seen Four Rooms, but that might be one I check out. You left out another movie where, again, it's just Bruce Willis's voice, but it was a movie called North, and I believe it was directed by Spielberg, but he was the narrator in the movie North.
Okay, I didn't know that. I probably left. I probably went by it. I probably saw it and didn't recognize it as a big movie, and kept it moving.
Okay, well, don't keep it moving on the next one, because this is probably, if I had to pick like a top 3 Bruce Willis movies.
I've never seen this movie.
Oh my goodness, I love this movie. Okay, because it's got some of the things I really like, and number one being like time travel, or like just anything that disrupts that time-space continuum, where almost like when you remember when you watch Back to the Future, and you remember seeing the scenes before they go back, and then as you watch the movie and you meet the guy at the counter who's cleaning the counter, talking about he's going to be mayor one day, and then you got to remember back to seeing posters of him running for re-election and stuff, and just how all those little threads kind of tie in together. Well, 12 Monkeys is very much like that. It's one of those movies that you probably can watch it through the first time, but it will take a second watching, or a third, or even a fourth, to catch all the what do they call it? Easter eggs and little things that you might miss. But 12 Monkeys, you need to add that to your list, where Bruce Willis plays James Cole, who basically comes from the future to again help the people who are in the future, or what's the future, come back to, I guess, present time, to find out what happened, that in essence forced humanity to have to live underground. And yeah, it's time travel, it's sci-fi, it's all things good and fun,
I'll have to
and
check that
Bruce
out.
Willis is really good in it.
I'll have to check that out.
Filmed in Philly too, I think.
Put that on your list.
I'll put that on
Plus,
my list. That sounds good.
I don't think he won an award, but definitely Brad Pitt playing the crazy
Oh yeah,
person. Because
right.
I mean, you play crazy, and it's just like, you know what? Let's just put the Oscar on name on your Oscar already. Um, but because crazy, who's that woman who played like Frances Farmer? Yeah, yeah, just play crazy. But Bruce Willis is just hamming it up, playing the crazy guy. So that's one to check out. You got to check it out. And Madeline Stowe, yeah, 12 Monkeys is not to be missed. Although, can I tell my 12 Monkeys story? Because I'm taking over now. So anyway, I actually saw 12 Monkeys in the theater. And I was on a date, and I guess it was a blind date. So it was our first time meeting, and went out for coffee, and then we went to this movie. And at the end of the movie, he turned to me and he goes, "I don't get it." And all the things in my head went, "Okay, this is not working." It just it's just like, oh my God. I like by the end of the movie, you could put all the pieces together, and he didn't get it. So
So
yeah,
so
subsequently
basically
he
somebody
didn't
set
get
you
it.
up with a
Okay.
dummy. Somebody set you up with a dummy.
What?
Somebody set you up with a dummy.
Pretty much. But anyway. No. Anyway. But yeah, see, Steve is where I'm at. That whole idea of time travel, and 12 Monkeys has a little bit of that element in it. So
Speaking of
definitely a must
elements,
watch. Put that in it. Speaking
speaking of
of elements,
elements,
I have given
we
you a
have
segue, haven't I?
yeah.
I'm
Speaking of elements, Fifth Element, which is a great movie, also, which is actually has become a cult classic. And one of the things in that movie is that the actor actually, one of the actors messed up and said Mr. Willis, his real last name, and they actually kept that mistake in the movie.
Pretty
I didn't
cool.
know that. That's a good
When
little
the
fun
priest
fact.
when the priest comes in,
Hmm.
when the priest has the woman, the element woman,
Uh-huh.
and he comes in to see Bruce Willis to get his ticket for the ship, when he knocks on the door, he says Mr. Willis, and he stumbles over his words, and they kept that in the movie. Watch it.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Can you
Next we
imagine
have
that poor actor who's probably,
no.
and
That was a famous actor. It was a famous
oh, it was
actor.
a famous actor.
It
Oh,
was a
okay. I thought it
famous
was like an
actor. I
extra or
forgot what his
something,
name
and
is.
he finally got
No,
some
no, no,
lines.
no. So next we have the Jackal,
And I
and I never
remember
seen the
seeing
Jackal.
this, but it's been so long ago.
Yeah, and then after the Jackal, we have Armageddon with Ben Affleck. Armageddon, which actually made me kind of feel for Clemson, whelped up the scene where in Armageddon, where they're walking to the ship, and the one guy, not Bruce Willis' character, the other character, the guy that was in Remember the Titans, his character, he had a strange woman and his son that didn't know that was his father, and he's walking on TV, and little boy goes, "Hey mom, it's the salesman," because he thought his dad was a salesman. It's the salesman, and he goes, "That's not a salesman, that's your dad." And that kind of me being a father, that made me kind of, oh, that's really so, the Armageddon. I love you, Harry. I love you, Harry. So the very popular movie next, Bruce Willis, is The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth
I see dead.
Sense.
I see dead people.
I see dead people. Now, tell me, did you guys get it? Because I remember when this movie's out, this movie it was one of those, to me, pop culture things. It
Yeah.
almost reminded me of like a Who Shot JR. Um, it was one of
Yeah,
those movies where
I honestly did not get it until the very end.
okay.
I honestly did not. I wasn't paying attention. I honestly did not get it to the very end.
Well, here's the thing though, because when this movie was out and all the talk about this movie was the big plot twist at the end, and I had went through great pains to not know the end. I was not going to watch the movie because I'm not, unlike Ed, I'm not a horror movie person, and I thought it was going to be too scary for me. But And I think at the time I was living in New York because this was back in the 90s. But I was home in South Jersey in Lawnside, and the theater over there by I don't is that theater still there where they built the new Walmart in Somerdale?
Yeah, Cinemark 6. I always see my movies there. It's a great theater.
Oh, the cinema. Okay. So that's the
Cinemark.
theater I
Cinemark
actually
16.
saw The Sixth Sense in.
Cinemark
And
16.
I'm sitting in the movie theater, and it was like a rainy night. So, I was just playing against the odds because I don't like scary movies. And when I do see them, I try to see them at an early matinee. So I don't go see them at night. And then on top of that, you don't go see them when it's like raining and storming outside. Well, anyway, I'm sitting in the movie and and I guess I couldn't pay attention to all the details of the movie because it had been out for a couple of weeks. So I was waiting for this big twist or whatever. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of the movie, everything goes black. And I'm like, oh, wait, is that the twist? I mean, what? Because the movie had not ended yet. And what happened is there was a power outage at that particular theater. And I'm thinking that's the plot twist. So the power went out and we had to wait like a good, I don't know, it was like a good 10, 15 minutes for them to restart the film again so that we could see the end. But I thought when everything went black, I'm like, wait, that's the twist? I don't get it. But I was wrong. I'm sorry, Kenny. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm here.
good. Then put your phone down and stop.
No, I
want be on the
to
show.
research.
It's an hour of your life.
You were talking about something. I want to research something for the show because the next movie we have is The Whole Nine Yards. Now, interesting fun fact about I wanted to make sure before I said something. Interesting fun fact about The Whole Nine Yards. And I knew the story. The Whole Nine Yards came out in 2000. In 2000. Bruce Willis's guest appearance on Friends was in 2000. And the reason was because Bruce Willis agreed to do a free showing on Friends with what's the guy's name?
Matthew Perry.
Yeah. He had some kind of deal or some kind of bet with Matthew Perry where he agreed to come on Friends and perform for free.
He donated the money that he made from Friends to charity, I believe.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's how in 2000 Bruce Willis got on Friends.
But actually, there was a point too in the history of Friends where it was so popular and such a pop culture phenomenon. Like everyone from Julia Roberts to Brad Pitt, like everybody wanted to be.
It was kind of like Batman in the 60s.
Yeah, so
in the 60s, every star that was having like a falling star, they wanted to be on Batman as a villain.
Oh yeah,
and then they got on Batman. You got Vince. I mean, how else would you get Vincent Price on Batman as a villain?
Oh.
Well, again, not quite the same thing because most of the people who were appearing on Friends were already movie stars in their own right and weren't falling or fading, so they really didn't need to be on there.
Cesar Romero, Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, they weren't fading really.
They weren't fading.
I worded that wrong. They weren't fading. Because Sammy Davis did an appearance on Batman too, and he was popular.
Okay, and Audrey's bringing us some good information because evidently he won an Oscar for that guest appearance on Friends. I mean, not an Oscar, an Emmy. I'm getting my EGOT.
Speaking of Friends, Audrey was telling me how excited she is to actually be doing the show, the Friends show with you. I think you had mentioned it last week.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about the Friends show. We got to put that on the books as well, Kenny.
I'm excited about it. So,
do I know Audrey? Did we work together at Paychecks?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Audrey left when I came.
Okay, maybe it was like a little bit.
I think so.
Overlapped.
Okay, we overlapped.
Yeah.
Overlapping Paychecks employees. Okay.
Yeah, overlapping Paychecks employees. So,
all right, what's next on the list?
So, next on the list is Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Now, this is the second movie with director M. Night Shyamalan, and
The
I'm not
third
gonna
movie was
pronounce
Sam
it.
Jackson.
What?
The third movie was Sam Jackson.
Right. Because Sam Jackson was in.
Die Hard with a
With-
vengeance.
Okay. All right.
He was.
And okay, and then also in Pulp Fiction. So Unbreakable was that Unbreakable was the first movie because that was part of a
Yes.
trilogy, although we didn't know it
Yes.
was a trilogy
It's
at the time.
Unbreakable, then Split, and then
Then
Glass. Yes.
Yeah.
and in Glass. We just had this like long dead air. What was
No,
that
I
about?
was reading. I don't know. So Unbreakable, which is a good movie because it shows like what it would be like if somebody really had superpowers.
I was
in
gonna say,
real life.
how could you be silent in a conversation about Unbreakable when
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
premise of the movie
it's
is
like a
what if
and this guy, what if you had powers?
what if
What if you had
regular
unbreakable?
ordinary
Yeah,
people had superhero powers?
that
Like what
made you
would that look
unbreakable.
like?
Yes, yeah. The next we did a sequel, the whole 9 yards. We did a whole 10 yards.
I don't think
and
that sequel did as good.
no, I
But
don't think I've
again,
seen
there
that
was
one either.
something about the energy and the humor of I think the whole 9 yards that made it a little more successful. But
And
after
then
that was Sin City,
Sin
which
City, which is an adaptation of a comic book.
oh definitely. Well,
Is
I
what-
thought isn't it more a graphic novel? Like how do you tell
Yeah,
the
a graphic
difference
novel, comic book.
between a comic book and a graphic novel?
I say comic book to make it
Mhm.
easy for normal people to understand.
I don't know. Graphic novel has a little more gravitas. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
If you're reading
I
a
say,
graphic novel,
because there are people who don't know the difference between the graphic novel and a comic book. They think it's the same thing because you open up the pages and you see pictures and words on it and whatnot, like a comic book. So
so how do they differ?
graphic novel is usually something that's done is printed on more pristine pages. The paper and the quality of the book is more upgraded. Usually graphic novel is standalone story. A graphic novel is more pages than a regular comic book.
Okay.
Am I missing something here, Ed?
No, I don't know. I wasn't sure what a graphic novel was. I'm with
Okay.
Kathy.
Like yeah, I'm like,
You'll get
what?
graphic. You'll get like there'll be a Superman graphic novel, but that Superman graphic novel will be a standalone story of a thicker book, and it'll tell a whole story, different than what a comic book would, and it'd be on better printed paper and everything else. And a graphic novel, like it's just a graphic novel is exactly what
By
it
the
is.
way,
It's a novel.
I'm actually a published author because I have a piece in this book called The Voice, and it's not a graphic novel, but I just thought I'd mention it. You can continue. I don't know why I'm being weird today. Anyway,
And I'm the one I'm the one at a party having a drink, and you're being weird. Okay, so next we have, I think, Cassie. That's pretty neat, though. What book is that? Where can we get that book?
I don't even know if they sell it in I don't think you can get it on Amazon. But
No.
anyway.
Well,
I'll see if there's an IBSN number.
You're gonna have to find out where people can get that book. If you're in the book, we want to know where we can get it.
All right.
Okay, so
anyway.
next at the Sin City, what better way to follow Sin City than do another Die Hard movie? Live Free or Die Hard?
That's when you're running out of ideas. Come on. I mean, just really.
I'll admit it was the weakest, in my opinion, of the four.
I kind of like Live Free or Die Hard.
I liked it, but I mean, if I were
Who's
to rank
that
them,
young
that would be
actor that
number
was in
four.
it? That young actor that was in it, I like him. He's funny. He's good.
Justin Long,
Yeah, yes, I like him.
and I like Timothy Oliphant,
Yeah,
who's also in the film. So, good actors.
yes.
Great
Live
story.
Free or Die Hard. You have John McClane
Kevin
doing.
Smith.
You have John McClane doing the same thing that John McClane always does, which is get beat up and keep moving.
Exactly.
Next,
Well,
you have,
I like the note you have here that Bruce Willis as John McClane wasn't even the original choice.
No, he
Like
wasn't.
they would prefer to have had like Harrison Ford or Robert De Niro or Sly Stallone. So he was kind of like sloppy third, fourths.
Yeah, but you know what? There was a name on that
Hold on,
list
hold
that I
on.
was like, no way. And
You
that's
still don't
Richard
have my
Dean
bag?
Anderson.
You still didn't get my bag. You didn't get my
Richard
Marvel Superhero bag.
Richard
Right.
Gere.
Richard Dean Anderson, MacGyver.
Oh,
Could you
MacGyver.
imagine him playing John McClane? No.
No.
My God, he turned it down.
Nah.
But see, that's the whole thing with acting, that you have to be like, you have to kind of go outside of yourself.
Yeah, but do you really think you could watch him and believe that he was John McClane?
I'm with
That's
Ed on
because
this. I'm with Ed on this.
that's because we've
I'm
all
with Ed on
seen,
this.
you know,
I'm with Ed on this.
Bruce Willis in that role for like what 4 or
Yeah.
5 movies. So
Yeah.
and so-
I don't see him being smart enough to take down, tough enough to take down Hans Gruber. I'm
Not
sorry.
a chance.
I'm sorry.
Not a chance.
Hans Gruber would have had a field day with him, you know?
Hans, Bubby.
Yeah. Next we have Bruce Willis doing a buddy cop movie with Cop Out. And he did that with Tracy Morgan.
who was that? Oh, that was with Tracy Morgan.
That was
Okay.
Tracy Morgan with Kevin Smith directing it.
Oh, okay.
Then we had The Expendables, which is one of those movies where you bring back, Sly Stone and all the other actors from the 80s, and they keep doing these expendable movies, and they keep bringing back more actors, older actors from the 80s.
How many expendable movies were there?
There's like 4 altogether.
Oh, wow.
Because there's one coming out again. There's a new one coming. Then you had the movie that Steve was talking about, Reds. With the movie we talked about before, Reds. They were old, retired.
Was it Reds plural
Reds.
or Red 2?
Reds. No, Reds. Reds is the first one, and Reds 2.
No, Red is the first one.
Reds is the first one.
No, it's Red, R-E-D. There is a movie called Reds. That's a totally different movie.
It's Reds 2.
No, it's Red.
All right, let's look this up.
Retired, extremely dangerous. Because it was about these retired spies who come out of retirement. So the actual movie is called Red, R-E-D, which stood for
2010.
Retired, Extremely Dangerous, and the sequel was Red 2, no S.
That is correct.
Yeah. Now there is a movie called Reds.
Okay, you know what? Ed, stop being a suck up.
No, I'm looking.
You always gotta agree with her.
But I'm right. So
I know Ed, this is why mom and dad like you best, because you always agree with her.
But I'm right.
You guys are both jerks, man.
Reds was a 1981 movie, and again, I think was it Warren Beatty was in Reds.
Right. Yeah, Red. Yeah,
Along with Edward Herman.
Well, you had Red, and then you had Expendables 2.
Because Bruce Willis loves himself a sequel, as we're finding out.
Now, that's was the movie I always wanted to see, but I never saw, and I might go see it again. Looper.
Looper was good. Looper was good. Really? Now, again,
I never seen Looper.
I've already said how much I love the whole idea of messing with that time-space continuum. And so Looper is one you got to see. I think you would like Looper.
I agree.
Ed, have you seen that one?
I have.
And who's the young guy who does just press record, hit record? Gordon. I can't think of his name.
Gordon Liddy?
Third Planet from the Sun.
He also played in Batman movie.
He was in the Batman movie, yes. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yes, he's in Looper too. And Looper is good.
And so next.
Oh, and you know who else is in? The woman with the accent.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
She's in Looper.
Don't sleep on her. She's an amazing action actress. So Emily Blunt is also
Isn't she
in
married
the
to
book.
John Krasinski?
John Krasinski. That's right. A Quiet
Yeah.
Place. A Quiet
So
Place.
Quiet.
so next you have Die Hard, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 2, A Good Day to Die Hard. Now you have A Good Day to Die Hard. A Good Day to Die Hard. That one I did not see.
Oh my God, I don't even remember it.
That was the one where he teams up with his son. A Good Day. Because there's a bad day, but this is a good day to die hard. You don't want the bad day to die, you want the good day. There's a good day to die hard.
Maybe that's number 5. I
Yeah,
don't remember
it is. It's number 5. Die
Yeah.
Hard 1, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die Hard, and A Good Day to Die Hard.
Is that the one with Kevin Smith in it?
I don't know. I don't know. But A Good Day to Die Hard, I don't know if Kevin Smith was in any Die Hards.
No, he was definitely in one of them.
It really was. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm positive on that.
A Good Day to Die Hard is the one where he I'm pretty sure I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure I gotta see this one. But I'm pretty sure he was teamed up with his son. Like John McClane's son was in A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh, I remember that. I remember seeing it.
I
I'm
didn't
reading
see
the
that one.
synopsis on it now. Yeah, I kind of remember it.
It wasn't good.
It doesn't stand out for me like the other ones did,
Okay,
especially the first 3.
let's check it out. So next, Kathy, you come back because next we have G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Like I said, good with the sequel. I don't think I've seen that. I didn't even see G.I. Joe.
It had The Rock and everything else in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a basic action movie. Then we had Red 2 that we
Okay.
already talked about. Then we had Sin City 2, A Day
Now,
to Kill For. And that's the one that I think Liotta was in. Ray Liotta.
right. So he was in with Ray Liotta, but I don't
Yeah.
think I've seen Sin City 2, A Dame to Die For.
I don't
Didn't he
think I
die in
saw.
Sin City 1? How did
I
he
thought he
be?
did, but they.
Well, I
So
know he gets.
in comics, death is not death. Comics kill death. There's a YouTube video called the Death and Life of Superman. Please watch that, and it tells you how comics kind of death isn't real in comics anymore, because when they killed Superman, they thought of some BS reason to bring him back. So then after that, every character that died in comic books was brought back to life. So only character that's still dead in comics is Uncle Ben.
From the Spider-Man trilogy.
I mean, because even in an alternate universe, Bruce Wayne's parents lived.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's a whole thing with Bruce Wayne and Flash and the Flashpoint where he changes the timeline, and now Thomas Wayne is alive, and in that universe, Bruce Wayne and Martha died. No, Bruce Wayne died. Martha became the Joker, and Thomas Wayne became Batman. So that Batman is now in the current. It's a whole big thing. But the only person who's really dead is Uncle Ben, because Bucky is alive. Because we all know the Winter Soldier. So characters who were dead for years and comic books in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even the beginning of the 90s, in the 2000s, there were storylines they made them. And back in the 70s, they killed Jean Grey. But then in the 90s, they brought her back alive. She wasn't really dead. So, for the X-Men. So it's the whole thing about, in comic books, like Sin City, a character is not really dead. There's a way for a character to come back alive. Death is not an infinite thing in comic books.
So death doesn't necessarily become them.
No, but I beg you, watch The Death and Life of Superman on YouTube.
I'll watch it.
It's the best 15 minutes.
Is it the
ever.
death and life or life and death?
It might be the life and death, but it might be death and life. But it does this whole parody on how they kill Superman and everything else. It's great. You'll love it. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. Next we have Split, which is the third installment of Unbreakable. No, Split is the second installment of
Second installment.
Unbreakable, and then Split. And then he did Death Wish. I guess he took over.
Well,
What's
we
his name?
should mention too that Split is actually just a cameo,
Yeah,
and actually by saying that Bruce Willis is in Split is kind of like a spoiler alert, which
Right.
yeah,
we,
yeah. I'm
you
sorry,
know,
my bad.
so you.
It came out in 2016. So if you ain't seen it yet, you don't want to see it, and it's okay for me to tell you. But he
I
did Death
think
Wish.
I'm dropping a YouTube video in the description. Hopefully, that's the one you're talking about. As far as the life and death of Superman.
I found the death and return of Superman.
That might be it too. That might be it.
Oh, is
too.
it? Oh, this is the complete life and death of Superman. But there is a video called "The Death and Return of Superman." So
Yeah, that might be it too. The Death and Return of Superman. I gotta see which one. Let me see what. Let me see what this is.
Is it a cartoon or is it like a live action?
It's a live action.
I see it. It's about 16 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
oh, the death and return of Superman. Okay, then
Yeah.
I linked the wrong thing.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm telling you, when you watch this, you'll want us to do a show on comic book death. So then we had him doing Death Wish, probably doing a Charles Bronson part. I never seen the movie Death Wish
I enjoyed
because
it. It was all right. It wasn't bad. It was
he
good.
did the Charles Bronson part though.
He did. He did. Well.
Yeah,
I think I might have seen that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
He was
like
more
that.
like he wasn't like Charles Bronson, all like tough, but he was like a father.
And
Yeah.
then
According
last
to
one-
and again the last one on this particular list, but there are some other movies listed that are either coming out or that are in post production. But
And
Glass in
Glass.
2019 was the third movie of the trilogy that started with Unbreakable, continued in Split, and then culminates in Glass, which brings him together again with Samuel L. Jackson in that movie.
that is a good combination. Samuel Jackson and Bruce Willis.
I
It's a
agree.
very good it's a very good combination.
Yeah, they do work well together, and actually, I think Unbreakable was really really good, but Glass I did enjoy. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed that more than Split.
I didn't see Split, and I didn't see Glass.
Mm. And I think you would like Glass because again, it brings back Samuel L. Jackson character in Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, I didn't understand why it was called Glass because
Samuel Jackson's character, I can surmise from Unbreakable, his character he was like glass. He broke like glass.
Right. But I don't know. I think another title might have gotten the movie a little more attention because it made it sound like you were going to learn more about his character. When really, to me, by calling it Glass, I think it gave away some of the elements of the end of the movie. Like when you find out what's going on and why.
Yeah,
but as far as the movie itself,
now, watch Glass. Do you need to watch Split, or can you watch Glass without watching Split?
You can watch Glass without watching Split. But I think you need to have seen Unbreakable to appreciate Glass. And having seen Split, it will help you.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
All right. My computer just went dead on my list. But the rest of the movies, I didn't put them down. A lot of the movies that Bruce Willis did after Glass, also are all straight to video. Which,
hey, for everybody, the last 2 years, most of their movies have gone straight to streaming.
Yeah.
Straight to streaming, straight to video. It's the pandemic that does it. So I kind of stopped at Glass because he's got some movies coming. But now he has this disease. So we don't know how many more movies we're going to see out of Bruce Willis at this point. But let's just all pray for him.
Wasn't the rumor that he had trouble on like the last, was it was he in production for the one of the Expendable movies or something like that, and that he was having a lot of trouble memorizing lines and stuff, and
Yes.
I think that might have led to the diagnosis. And like I said, there are a couple movies: Paradise City, Wire Room, The Wrong Place, White Elephant, Die Like Lovers, which I don't think it has anything to do with Die Hard, but that are in post production. So
We can only hope.
There probably will be opportunities to see Bruce Willis on screen, but again, as far as making any additional movies, I think he pretty much is retired. So that's
Yeah, I
pretty
agree.
sad. But
I think Die Like Lovers should probably be Die Hard Like Lovers, which will put him and his estranged wife, his divorced wife, back together again in the situation,
Bonnie
which will be a
Bedelia.
great movie.
Yes.
Die Hard Like Lovers.
Yes.
I would go see that.
you probably would.
I'm with
Well,
you, Kenny.
and
What was his wife's name in that movie? In the Die Hard
It
movie?
was Bonnie Bedelia. It was the actress's name.
Bonnie Bedelia was
Yeah,
the
Bonnie
And it
actress.
was Holly Gennaro.
Holly.
But, you know,
I
she should have
light it
been
up for
Holly
you,
McQueen.
Holly. There's your landing
Did
gear,
she
Holly.
remarry in one of the other movies?
Oh,
She
I
may
don't
have
know.
been remarried in the
I don't know.
fourth one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we can kill him off. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can kill him off.
Throw him off Nakatomi Tower.
Holly was hot. I'm just saying.
What did you just say?
Holly
From
was hot.
Nakatomi Tower?
Holly was
What
hot.
is it?
Kind of like Hans
Okay.
on my favorite Christmas shirt.
Nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ah!
Ah,
Ultimate.
You're just a common criminal. You're just a common thief.
I am an exceptional thief.
That is
yes,
the bomb. All right.
Thank you for the segue, Kathy.
Anything else? Anything else you want to say? You use stronger mouthwash. Holly Gennaro, man. Holly Gennaro.
She was good.
She was good.
She was good. She was tough.
Yeah, she was. She was.
And Audrey says, awesome shirt. And of course, Steve chimes in with, all right.
They're
It's just
absolutely
me.
right.
You leave it?
And it was so funny. And I don't know what we were talking about, like Thursday on me and Miss Santos. And I mentioned that we were talking about Bruce Willis. And I said, and of course, I'm going to have to hear about how Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. She's like, oh, that's a good Christmas movie. I'm like, not you too.
Is it Santos's birthday? Was that this week? I'm pretty sure it was.
It was?
I'm pretty sure. Shane, do you want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? You just come right here, Shane. Shane is in the party too with us. Okay. Shane, say hi. Shane's a friend of mine. He's at the party too. The party's going on upstairs. I'm gonna go up there and have a drink too. But we're talking about Bruce Willis, Shane. That's my friend Ed, and that's my sister Kathy.
Hi, Shane.
So no, what were we talking about before I introduced Shane?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Holly McLean.
Huh?
Holly Gennaro.
Holly Gennaro. And how John McClane's wife was hot. She was hot. I'm sorry.
Actually, I agree.
She was really hot.
Yeah.
John McClane really messed that up in Die Hard.
He did.
Because I would have held on to her.
Yeah.
You guys know it's a movie. It's all fictional, and it has nothing to do with Christmas, really.
It does.
But okay.
Shane, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
What did he say?
Shane said yes.
Okay, he's not even on mic. All right. Anyway, we want to thank you, Ed, for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. Always.
Yes, Shane.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Yeah, see. Yeah, see.
Okay, all of you guys are wrong and crazy wrong. And
well, why are you taking me off? You keep taking me off. Like, yo, come on.
Because I can.
This is like the Brady Bunch.
I know.
It is. It is very
Here's
much
a
so.
story.
And you're the milkman's kid.
I'm the butcher's kid. I'm Sam Nelson's kid.
Yeah, you're Sam's kid.
Sam the Butcher.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we are all weirdly and oddly disturbed.
That's funny.
But
The fact that we
Kenny,
think that's funny is
look at
weird.
this. We are way past the hour. We didn't even do our half-hour mark.
We didn't do it.
Oh,
Oh wow,
my
we are almost close to. Okay, we gotta close the show out, guys.
We gotta close.
Next week, we don't know what we're talking about.
I have no idea. But we'll figure something out.
I won't be at a party next week. I'll be totally focused in here. I won't have kids in the background. I won't have a drink in me. I won't have anything. I'll
Great
be boring.
television theme songs. That's what your show should be.
Well, it should be what?
Alice, the Jeffersons,
Oh, great television theme songs.
the Greatest
No.
American Hero,
No.
MASH.
No. You know what we're gonna do? We're
Good
finally gonna do a show next week on shows that should not be rebooted.
Bruce Willis movies. No. What is it?
TV shows that should not do a reboot.
I thought we did that already.
No, we didn't.
Did you do movies that should be a TV
We
show?
did movies, not TV shows.
Oh,
Or-
we did.
No, movies that shouldn't have a sequel or be remade, I think it was.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Oh, yeah. We did movies that shouldn't have a sequel, but okay.
But lately they have this thing of rebooting sitcoms.
Classic
And-
TV shows.
Yeah, and you shouldn't really reboot. Like Murphy Brown to reboot that was a mistake.
Mm,
That was a
Yeah.
mistake.
leave it alone.
I watched the first episode.
Now,
I
I
said,
feel
"Why?"
badly because I really wanted to see that Mad About You reboot because I love Mad About You. So that would've been
You know what? When I watched the Roseanne reboot first, when it first came on with Roseanne, I was like, no, it's not working for me. I don't know why it stayed on this long, but it's not working for me.
Is it still on?
good.
I think so. You know, they did in the 90s, in the early 2000s, they had a show for kids on Nickelodeon called iCarly,
Oh, right.
and they rebooted iCarly 10 years later. I
Did they
watched
redo
it.
Punky Brewster or something like that?
I watched iCarly. I watch iCarly that is rebooted, but it's really not that good.
Well, some reboots have worked, like Fuller House. I mean, that had quite, and I don't know whether that was because of the pandemic or not, but that had.
I think Fuller House worked because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
I think Fuller House worked for the nostalgia, and I think a lot of people watch Fuller House because they're waiting for the Olsen twins to show up, which they never did.
Let me ask you about
Well, she
this.
was too busy being the Scarlet Witch. So,
What about what's happening versus what's happening now?
What's happening now was not good.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that good either.
It wasn't good.
And what's
You
happening
shouldn't-
was so good.
What's happening was classic.
It
but
was.
okay.
You were showing that.
okay, you guys are digging into next week's show. And we haven't ended
before we
this
go,
week's show.
Before we go, because I'm gonna say this next week's too, because this is
Okay.
next week's show reboots. When I was one time before I got married, I was dating a girl and I wanted to go back to dating her again. And you know what my best friend said to me?
Don't.
Old shoes don't fit the same.
Why does that sound like an Outcast song lyric?
Old shoes
Don't fit the same.
decline. Old shoes don't fit the same, which means you can't always go back. So when I wanted to go back with that woman, he told me not to go back. I didn't listen to him. I
And you
went
wish
back.
you had.
And
Well-
I wound up marrying her. So that you know how that turned out. So look, old
Yeah.
shoes don't.
All right, so next
Old
week
shoes
we're
don't
talking
fit the same. You can't
reboots.
bring comedies back.
For this week, we want to thank you guys for hanging out for Saturday. We want to thank our guests, Ed Diehard Brown. Oops, wrong sound effects. Yikes. I was trying to hit applause. Ed Diehard Brown, thank you for being here.
Yippee
Because
ki
we couldn't talk Bruce Willis without several Die Hard references because we had 5 movies to choose from. So thank you so much for being here. Thank all
It's
you
a
guys.
good day to die hard.
Please take some time to give us that like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching us on YouTube. We will see you here next Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel, same bat station for Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.
God bless your soul and
Peace.
keep living. Peace.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.